Mé pozvání do podcastu přijal mnohonásobný mistr světa Pascal Briand, takže se dnes budeme bavit anglicky. Vítejte v podcastu do bruslí. Jsem Matěj Krupka, trenér kolečkového bruslení. V tomto podcastu načerpáte inspiraci do tréninku a poslechnete si rozhovory se zajímavými lidmi ze světa bruslení. A pokud chcete patřit do komunity zapálených bruslařů, zvu vás do své online tréninkové skupiny na Facebooku. Najdete nás pod názvem Bruslíme správně a rychleji. A teď si užijte dnešní epizodu podcastu. V dnešním podcastu přivítám hosta Pascala Brianda z Francie, který je bývalým špičkovým závodníkem, jedním z nejlepších závodníků své generace, který zároveň přešel i na dlouhou dráhu, kde se účastnil olympijských her, a povídám o tom, jak celý jeho život prostupuje kolečkové bruslení a celkové bruslení jako takové, a nakonec nám dá i radu pro současnou covidovou situaci. Welcome to our podcast. I'm here today with former top inline speed skating athlete and now coach Pascal Briand. And I asked him for interview for my podcast during the last weekend where we met in the World Skate Coach Academy, which is training for coaches where Pascal is teaching some classes about tactics and techniques of speed skating. And I remember Pascal from my times of active skating when he was mainly a coach of a French national team, but also I have met him in the past as a top speed skater, and well, Pascal was at the top, I think, in 2003 when I just started skating. So he was one of the athletes I was looking up to, and that's how I remember him. And I met him mainly like marathon skater, racing for a Sub Salomon team in yellow-black colors. But he has won many races, and he has also won the World Inline Cup Series, which is marathon racing. But he is mostly successful, or was in short distance, in sprints. He is 8 times world champion, and he took victories over 500 meters and 1,000 meters, and with relay with French team. So he's very successful. He took more than 20 medals at World Championships. So welcome, Pascal, to my podcast. I'm very glad to have you here.
Yes, thank you for the nice introduction. That was quite complete and a quite good summary of it. So almost make me shy, but it's nice to hear again, actually.
Come on, it's your achievement, so why to be shy? Yeah. Well, as I mentioned at the introduction, I remember you as a marathon skater, but you have won most titles and most medals as a sprinter. How was it for you to race marathons, but being a sprinter?
Yeah, that was actually a tricky combo. I think for sure not everybody can do this combo, but back in the days, it was a bit different also because most of the marathon, the pack was very big. Almost like we can see at World Championship, the marathon. We have like 200, 250 skaters together. So actually, even for sprinters, it was quite easy to follow in the middle of the pack. Mm-hmm. Also, we had smaller wheels. So basically, it would give a little more advantage to the type of skater who are good in 500,000 meter compared to the skater that nowadays have to be good more into point race elimination. And they can attack in marathon and breakaway like Bart, but back in my years, it was more balanced between the attack guy, let's say, and the middle distance sprinter guy. So I'm a profile like Gwendal Lepiver, more or less, except that probably earlier in my career compared to him, I worked a lot the endurance. Okay. So very early, I start to really do a lot of kilometers. So it really helped me to jump into this marathon world. And then during the season, it was always a bit tricky to manage, like preparing for winning World Inline Cup Series and focus on marathon and take enough time before World Championship to create more sprinter skills again. So it dropped me a bit from the 300 meters distance, kind of, but and then I focus 500 meters. Then when I get older, I had to go more into 1,000 meter, and when you get even older, and you do a little more relay. So slowly, it make me go longer distance. But I was a complete athlete, and also I think the chance I had is that I worked a lot my technique, and by doing a technique that was effective on sprint but saving so much energy, I think my technique was something good to save a lot of energy. Then in a marathon I could basically go till the end without so much problem. Yeah. So that was tricky, but I was not the only one doing this. Like you had Sergio Rato, was also an amazing skater, and it was typically same distance. You had Juan Carlos Betancourt, was exactly same profile. Luca Presti was also same profile. So it was different years. It's much harder to do like this nowadays because of Bart and Felix, basically, and Nolan. When they attack, it's totally different story. But yeah, it was some choice. Some years I was better in marathon and performing little less at World Championship, and some years I was little less good in marathon and performing better. So it was difficult because we were racing about 30 to 35 marathon a year. Wow. And so that was a lot. I was racing. I like to race. I mean, I don't train for just training. I like to race. So I'm a competitor, and I used racing a lot into my training also. So I was not afraid to go to the start of the race, and no, I would not win, but took my chance anyway. But took the race as an experience and developed some tactic skills and things like this, which I feel the skater nowadays, they don't do this so much. They basically race only when they are top shape and feel they can perform their best. And when they are not like at their best level, I feel they kind of go away from racing. And basically that was really not my way to race 20 years ago. The conditions are different, and it's different worlds. There was also more prize money in the race, so you want to race more because you have more motivation with prize money, of course. So, but I accept a lot that I could race and try to learn something from racing. Take the chance that maybe I don't win, even if I take always the opportunity. But I was racing a lot, yeah. And so for some seasons, if the World Championship was really in the middle of or too close to the main marathons, it was too short to prepare specifically for 500,000 and so on. So I got a lot of injury because of this, actually.
Really? Yeah. Okay. Well, and what are you most proud of from your career? Because if you mentioned that some years you were more sprinter, some years you were more distance skater. So what is the top of the career for you?
Yeah, it's hard to say because actually I was lucky to have so many good moments. At the time I was racing, I was super proud of being able to win 2 or 3 races in a World Championship, in the same championship. That was something I really like to do, which happened 2 times in my career, 2005 and 2001. And when you get this, you are like lifted, you are like on another planet, which is very different from winning just 1 title in 1 World Championship. It was quite an amazing experience. But from all this, what I remember most is actually nowadays, it's not the results, basically. It's more what happened with the people during all these races and with the teams and with the people I have to race against. It's more this that I remember more today, more than just winning or something like this. It's the relation I could create into this 10 years of racing with all guys like Jorge Botero, like Tony Muse, and Massimiliano Presti. So like all those guys, it's more this that I remember now, 20 years later, basically.
It became a family together, I guess.
Yeah, we have like we have something to share for all our life, and the event, it was like just something that pushed all our personality to the top. We could see all our limits with the good point and the bad point of the personality. And by trying to be really the best of the world and trying to beat guys that want to be the best also, it really push all yourself, basically, physically, but mentally also. And then you can discover from yourself all your good point and all your bad point. So I learned a lot from myself about all these things. Like that was really cool.
That's very interesting, as you say. Cool. Well, and in those times when you were in the top shape, you used to be a pro skater, like earning for a living from skating, or was it possible that the time?
Yeah, it was different also. Like I was a pro hopefully with Salomon team at the beginning and with Power Slide team already also at the end the years of my career, and with some ice team also. So I could live from skating, but I also had a job on the side already with the French Federation, and I was half time as a coach or doing some development program and things. And the French Federation support me a lot into this. And through not only through the French Federation, but also from the sport government system in France, I could get this job from my study and get advantage for letting me free time to train. So I was paid basically from the federation more or less and from a sponsor. So I could have good life for it. And it really helped me also to travel more, to get more experience into skating. Because I spent almost all my money, I was spending it back into the skating. Like it's my passion, it's my life always. So I just always try to invest into this always. Yeah. So it was.
By the way, how many people were like this employed by a federation?
I think if we go back into between 98 and 2005, I think there was about 40 skaters that was paid correctly to be professional, and probably you could find easily 40 more skaters that had some very good advantage to like the most of the expense paid to travel and material.
You mean in France or?
No, in the world.
In the world. Okay.
Worldwide. Yeah, more or less we had a peloton that was with about, let's say, 80 semi-professional skater, we can say, back in the days about this. Yeah.
Okay. And how is the inline speed skating sport known in France if you compare it to other sports?
It's like a non-Olympic sport still, so it's not super famous. We are not on TV regularly, but depend of times also. Like in the early 2000s, it was like a boom of skating. So every Sunday evening there is a good sport report on TV, on national TV. And like once or two times a month, we were there also.
Okay.
So it was not bad back in those days. Now it's much more confidential if we look at the TV coverage. But we have another chance now. We have the social media, we have YouTube, we have all these things. The live streaming is possible. So it's more our responsibility as a sport to create our own content and to make it cool for the people. So it's nice if we get TV, for example, but if we don't get TV, we can do it ourselves. It's hard. Yes. And if it's not happening, it's just we need to move ourselves as a community for sure.
Yeah. Okay. And well, if I switch to your ice career, because later on you switched to ice speed skating as well. Well, there you focused on longer distances, or how was it on ice for you?
Yeah, it was difficult. Like actually, I could say I was quite talented for inline skating, but I was not super talented for ice skating. Like the technique difference, the pattern for the movement, my body didn't work so good on the ice for this. I switched also quite late. I was 28 when I started ice skating. So basically, I was also not too old, but too burn. I think I burned the candle too much before, and I was a bit dead for sure going on the ice. And I did a lot of mistake in my training, like almost trying to do too good, make it me doing some mistake.
Okay.
So yeah, I could say I could have done much better, but yeah, I was also less good on the ice. I think it's the most simple reality to which actually was I could reach the Olympic just by the limit. I was not last, but almost last at the Olympic. And actually it was a super cool experience also. And because, you know, you're at the top of the world in one part, I was basically winning everything on inline skates. So you get a feeling from the sport, from the people, from everything. you know something, and then you go on another world and you're just the average skater. Like I was just the normal guy, like nothing special. And it helped me to understand these two worlds: training every day and being successful, how easy it become actually, and training every day and not being super successful. And actually, I'm kind of more proud actually of the second part here, because I realize more how it is for most of the people that train every day. They have this goal, and the thing I was doing to reach this, it was kind of harder. And I'm much more proud of this, even if I finished only 33 at the Olympic.
But still you qualified. And
yeah, I qualify. Okay, it's not something like super hard actually to do when we are at this level. But the road to get there, I think I'm super proud from what I learned also. Like, okay, I train every day, and I could see I would not get a medal. I was super realistic. I could see I was too far. I could see that I was already training full for it, but not good enough. And I'm proud because I don't give up on this road. If you have the medal, then you are like the king. But it's only 3 people who get a medal, and there is hundreds of other one behind who have also a story behind it. And I value a lot this road to get there. So I finished 33. That was the best I could do at that moment with the information I got. And I'm as proud of this as when I was on a world champion on inline, actually.
Yeah, well,
because
that's quite interesting.
That was the best I could reach, actually. Yeah. So, and it was an experience that helped me a lot to become a coach also. Because when you coach guys like that have talent, I mean, it's super easy.
Yeah.
But the trick from a coach is also to be able to help a skater that is missing something, trying to get the best out of it anyway. And by being in this situation, I really understand also a lot the motivation and the psychological part of all these people and athletes that train but are not especially the best in the world. So it helped me a lot in my teaching in skating, actually, for after. Yeah.
Cool. And but beside that you mentioned that you were not super good in ice. You were able to win the kind of
Mastart World Cup. Yeah. I win one race on the ice, actually.
And the Mastart, right?
It was the first Mastart ever.
Okay.
And it was a different formula. It was 60 lap, and it was with a 60 skater at the same time. So more like an inline race, basically. So and my dream was like they put the Mastart at the Olympic, because if they had Mastart at Olympic, then I would potentially think I was potentially a medalist. I was not super fast, but on this kind of race, with tactic skills, with using the other and so on, this I was quite good. I'm into tactic and saving energy, so even if I was weaker, I could still win. And actually, this first Mastart, I win it on the tactic, because I was for sure the strongest guy on the starting line, but I can see when the breakaway is a good one. I can see how much energy the other have compared to me, and I can manage good how much energy I can give in the last 200 meters. So all these things, it's in my skills. And if I race, it's a lot into the inline skaters also. When you see them racing on the ice, like Peter Michael was a lot like this. If he had a good opponent, he would perform good, and if he had another skater who is less good, he will perform less. And I'm more like a hunter. If I have somebody next to me and I have to beat him, I'm better. If I'm alone, which is the essence, the basic of long track, you're alone in your line, and then I'm shit. Actually, I'm not good at this, and also because my physical skills are not super high. If you put me in a lab making tests for like being an athlete, there is nothing special. Like I didn't came strong from being super athletic guy. My VO2 max was like 60, 63, maybe the best I could reach. so nothing incredible. My max strength was also not crazy. I think my record in a deep squat was 185. Okay. So not bad, but many people can do this, and some do much more. So my strength was into the technique, into the tactic, and still I had one physical quality that helped me a lot, is my heart rate range. I could go from 36 to 210. And this is where I had my potential as an athlete, probably. So I could stay in the red for very long and survive. So,
yeah. And this race that you have won, it was won in the mass sprint, or how did you win?
It was actually the best situation for me is when there is a little group going away. So we are like 10 people, and then I have to sprint these 10 people. And this is what happened. About 8 guys break away, and I could see, there is one guy of this team. So the pack will start to slow down because the other team member will control. So I went full, try to jump back into the group, which I could do really just from the limit. And then I collaborate to make it work good. So it's smooth and everybody arrived together in this small group. And then I play my sprint card, basically. So, and also many marathons on inline I won like this. I won not of a massive sprint, but probably I don't have the statistic, unfortunately, but I remember many races I was like having a good selection, and then we have a smaller group and we have to sprint this small group, and this, as a sprinter, it was quite good for me.
If you can be there at the time, then you can win.
Not Peter Sagan, but little bit this profile, like I can survive in some uphill and things like this.
Okay.
But many skater, not many, but all the good skater of my generation, they could do this also. Luca Presi, Sergio, like I say, they were good in this.
Okay. And nowadays in the master there is a rule that you have to wear a helmet, and I have seen some some activities that the long track skaters should wear helmet as well, because the crashes in such a speed, it's quite dangerous. But well, the skaters themselves, they don't want to wear the helmet. How did you feel in the group of 60 skaters? I guess you didn't have a helmet, or did you in the time?
No, I didn't have a helmet, but I really like to wear my helmet all the time. And I wasn't comfortable racing without helmet on the ice in the pack in the marathon back in the days also. And but I followed the social pressure, because I would have liked to race with my helmet, but because nobody was using it, I just didn't use mine stupidly, which was stupid, I can tell you. I would have liked more to race with my helmet. And actually I think it would have helped if someone of my generation was raised with the helmet earlier, that they make the switch earlier with the helmet. So I wish I like now short track and and marathon master, they have the helmet always. Long track, it's a bit different, let's say, but I would prefer to have them having a helmet, because we can crash and hit the head, and you don't need to be in a pack to hit your head on the ground.
Sure.
And I can tell you, I had 2 big crashes in my career. So, and I hit my head very hard. So it's something I'm worried about, like how I will be in 10 years or in 1 year, or how maybe I am already. So the consequence of these 2 crashes, it's something I'm thinking a lot. And I was always wearing my helmet on inline, and I still do. Every time I put my skate, I have my helmet. If I do urban skating, if I do speed, if I go buy the bread with my skate, I just put my helmet. Yeah.
Well, that's something I recommend to everybody as well. But many people don't listen, and if they see the speed skaters on ice don't wearing it, well, that's.
But I honestly, I think it will change one day. Unfortunately, like in every situation like this, we just have to wait for a bad accident. And that's where the things start to change. But okay, only two skater on the ice at the same time. But when you go 60 kilometers an hour, I mean,
that's the point.
Yeah, I think, and it looks cool. I mean, for me, it's cooler when you have the helmet. It brings also one more equipment, so one more potential sponsors to the event. So and when the day they will say you need to have a helmet in long track, it's a little message for the federation maybe. It will bring a market there. It will bring money into the sport. It's one more element to sales, one more element to sponsor the athlete, to sponsor the event. So yeah, just change the rules, put helmet to everybody, and
that's true.
And use this money. They can support the sport also. Yeah.
It's not only the safety, but also supporting other activities.
Yeah, I mean, it's a collaboration. If the sport need to have helmet and need to have good helmet for the safety of the skater, it's good for the skater because we are more protected, and it's good for the industry because they can make money and create new product and make more safety later. So it's win-win for everybody.
Yeah, you are right. Okay, well, that's your racing time and your past, basically. And before I switch to presents, I would like to ask you kind of personal questions. One is, you already mentioned that you are doing everything on skates, going for bread or doing urban skating, speed skating, whatever. Is there something what you didn't try yet and would like, or what is challenging for you?
Yeah, I actually, before liking the sport of skating, I just like the activity. So I'm in love with the activity. That's why I like to do very different things on skates. And that's why when I stop my career, I keep skating, just because I like it in general. And it's a big difference actually between a skater who decide to become a racing skater just because he wants to race on skates, and a guy who loves the sport and that is racing on skates too. When the career is finished, probably the first one will go on his bike and race with some friend or run with some friend, and the one who loves the sport at the start, they will stay in the sport, not racing so much anymore, but they will keep skating. So I'm more into this second category, and I like so much this feeling of technique and the movement we can do on skates. So I like to do a lot of different things, and by doing things on urban, and by doing a bit of slalom or hockey. I played hockey. I played roller derby on quads. I do a lot of quads before too. All this helped me to create different movement to get better technique on racing also. And one thing I would like to learn more is doing more aggressive skating. I mean, I'm really bad in a skate park. I almost cannot jump anymore, which is crazy. I like to jump when I was younger, and now 45 years old soon, I'm like, ooh, I'm not so good at jumping. So this is something I want to, when I have a little bit of time, I try to go skate and push myself in a skate park, try to do a little grind on a rail. Would be good to learn more. I would like to do this. Yeah.
By the way, did you try downhill or inline slalom?
Yeah, I did downhill also. I was not also super good, but I did the extreme games 2 times, the X Games in 97, 98. And it was a downhill event with a 4-in-9 skater. It was really cool. And so I did this. But, just like it's an opportunity, we can race downhill. Let's just keep the inline, the racing skate and go, put protection. And but I was fast, I was cool, but also not the best. I was a little too careful somehow, like it was super high speed. But,
okay, so there was the first personal question. Then you already kind of answered, but did you have some time when you had enough of skating and you wanted to stop, or did you have this time?
No, I never had this yet. I hope if it come, it will come. But no, since I started skating 6 years old, I always loved it, and there was no moment, never. I myself, I'm tired of skating. No, never. And I have this really deep passion for the sport, and it's also what I mean. For me, it's easy to do a lot of things for the sport, different, because I love this so much. It's really my life, basically based on this, and so I don't feel I will be tired of it one day. So
that's
probably the longest I didn't skate was 2 months during the COVID last year.
Okay.
Because we couldn't go out. It was full lockdown and we couldn't go skate. So I only put my skate one time in the parking in front of my apartment. But that was probably the longest without skating ever.
You couldn't even go for a ride into park or something like that?
No, because we were limited to 1K around your area. So where I live, it's not like convenient for skating, actually, 1K around. There is a lot of place, little more far, but 1K around my house is not the best. So I couldn't skate for a while, but I wanted, so I did other things. I did video, I study other things and stuff. So
well, that's cool in our country that even if we are like closed in our homes, still we can go for a sport, and it's still not limited for a distance, just parts of Czech Republic, but enough place for skating if you want to. So it's good.
Yeah, now it's more open, but there was the beginning of the lockdown in France they make it quite heavy. Mm-hmm. But after that, now it's more convenient still. In France, we have to be home at 6.
Okay.
So I just manage my time differently. And in the middle of the afternoon, or end of the morning, I take a bit of time to go out and skate. And then I work longer in the evening, something like this. But let's hope that it gets more normal again, and at least we can meet some friends that's racing and put numbers on the back again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And when I come to the last personal question is something like, what did you learn from your career, or did you have some lesson learned which was painful for you in that time you learned?
In which period? You mean in the whole career, or?
Yeah, in the whole career. Basically, if you remember something that was said for you, or something that didn't work out as you wished, but you learned from it.
No, probably at some moment, there was things I wish I would do better, but I'm quite positive very fast, and in my world, everything is possible, just question of time. So I don't feel like, oh shit, this is a problem. I say, okay, this happened, and still it was good, and I learned this. So I go very easily forward in my personality. So I don't. Maybe like I say, the being at the top spot is pushing your personality, the upper side and the downsides. So there are some moments I wish I would have been nicer to some other people. But I think it's for everybody. But and I was not able to help them enough, probably. So I wish now I could have done more, but it's still not a regret. I was like this. I also learned that I had this part at this moment, and now I try to act better when I can. So
okay,
things you learn in life, basically.
Well, thank you for this small personal window, and now to presents. Basically, as I said at the beginning, last weekend you were speaking at World Skate Coach Academy about technique and tactics in inline speed skating. My question to you is now, what do you think it's most tricky for most people in doing skating? If there is some technical skill that most people don't do correctly?
Yeah. Depend of where we are in the world, every country, there is a style almost in every country. And you can see the Belgium skater, they skate almost together the same way. The French skater, they have the style. The Colombian, they have the style. The Korean also. So in different places, based on the culture, based on the knowledge, you got access. Probably there is some good point and things to solve everywhere. Doing the work, it was the first time the World Skate Academy happened. It was the level 1 coaching. And I love the idea when the federation started this. I think I'm a lot into technique and tactic. And for me, it's the basics of our sport is into the technique. Training ourselves physically it's easier and easier. I mean, the knowledge is everywhere. You go on Google and you look, you can find tons of training plans to find how to make your strength better, your stamina better, your endurance better, and so it's super easy to get this knowledge nowadays. But getting this knowledge, the knowledge for technique in speed skating, in inline speed, it's super hard.
Yeah.
It's super hard, and nobody knows the exact information. So nobody can tell you have to skate like this. And this is what I told in my course also. I say, I will tell you something, but maybe I'm telling you wrong. You will have to experiment yourself. So I like that people get different information and that they try if it works for them. And this is my point of view. And I can tell you the way I coach today is different from 10 years ago. I probably say things the opposite of what I was telling 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I'm teaching things that are the opposite that I was doing 20 years ago. Not that I was wrong 20 years ago, only that things change. Before we race on 80 millimeters, which give a logic in the technique that is different from 125. Yeah. So the timing is different, the way you take the outside edge is different. There is some basics, but there is things that changing in time, and that probably what we will tell today will be different in 5 years if they change something on the shape of the track. Mm. If I say something about tactic and they put back a lot of parabolic track, then all what I teach in the tactic is would become bullshit, you know. So it's true. That's part of also the life, and coach life is more about always keeping update information and try to get new information and not get blocked into I know better than the other and what I say is the only true. Then you start losing. As an athlete, it's the same. If you start to feel, oh, I'm the best of the world, then you will not win very long. You will just stay at your level, and the other one, they will try to catch you, and one day one will beat you, and then you react. So as a coach, it's a bit the same. I always try to say, I'm thinking this today. It's not bad. What I can think differently to make it better. I try to speak a lot with other coach also and also other skater. So I can race a little bit still, and which make me feel what the skater they do differently also in the pack today. Mm-hmm. And I always ask them question about the feeling they have on their skate. So I think this is super important. To understand the technique, you need to understand the feeling of what you are doing. How the rhythm you put in the movement, the precision level is extreme for speed skater, I think. And I love to speak with top athletes like Bart, Felix, or skater like Thomas Boucher before and Arnaud Jiquel. We speak a lot about techniques and share some details. So it's super interesting. Yeah. 2 weeks ago, I met Yann Guyader. Uh-huh. I had an interview with Yann Guyader for a movie I'm working on. And then we end up again speaking about technique of the skater and compare this one and what this ones do good and what this one could improve and so on. So it's an endless topic. It's super interesting and I love to do this.
Well, from my point of view, the technique of skating is something that you could speak about for hours and never stop. Yeah, I have the same.
And World Skate did a first step like this. Okay, we had 2 hours lesson on technique. We could talk 100 hours on each those topics, and that would be a good way to have more trainings like this for the coach to share information and to learn new things. So yeah, I hope we will do more.
Yeah, sure. Okay, and if you think about your coaching methods, what is the exercise that you do most likely with skaters?
I love to teach them how to go fast first. I mean, it's in the name, speed skating. So you have to go fast. So you need speed. So it's one of our basic. Every good skater, they go fast. But on a flying lap, is super fast. So I really first focus on the fact that you have to go fast. And you can go fast from your physical skills, you can go fast from your technique. And if you have both, then you are about swing, you have the magic, you know. But so I work a lot with the idea that my skater needs to go fast.
Okay.
And when they can go fast, it's easier to make them go longer if needed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And in the philosophy of my training, also, I don't do only physical skills, which is probably what most of the coach are doing in the training. Every time people tell me, should I do this speed training before this or the start there? And this level of question, if they had the same reflection about technique, the skater would be much better. And I always include my technique inside all the training. So basically, I have a training plan in my head, a program that I follow, but this progression, this physical progression will not work if my skater don't skate good technically at some point, at least for the basics. So there is no chance, almost no chance, that you can go fast by just being athletic.
Mm-hmm.
So a good example would be you can take a guy from weightlifting or the best cyclist. If you put them on skate, they would go faster than most of the people then in like this, but they never make it. You never see a good cyclist become good on skating because the technique is dominant.
Yeah.
So you have this complex movement that can destroy your physical skills or enhance your physical skills.
Yeah.
So if you get this, that basically I could do a training 3 times 500 meters, and if I see my skater doing technical mistake, I would directly want to solve this technical mistake even if it's for one step. If I see one push that is not, this push was not good, I would tell, hey, this push, this second cross here, there was a problem. You lean too much, or the ankle with break here, something. And this is this little details that for every step you need to fix. Because every step we do mistakes almost. It's the one who will do the less mistake that will go the fastest, or that will save energy to go fast longer at the end.
That's something I remember from your training, that the one who makes the less mistakes, that will win.
Yeah, that's the way I see the technique into the sport. And if you do a flying lap and your skater say, no, I didn't do any mistake, then there's a problem of evaluation. It's not possible to do a 200 meters flying lap without doing any mistake in your technique. Not possible. I will see some mistake. I will see some problem to solve. So it's the level of requirement that you decide. Most of the things, like the coach, they go too low into this, or the skater, they are too low in the technical requirement to push them really to their real limit. And I'm like pushing this super high. So even if my training could be physically easier than some other coach, they would be harder in some other aspect. Mm-hmm. So I know some coach that would wrongly think that my training are too easy.
Okay.
Because they are harder on some parts that are invisible for them actually. And that makes the skater fast also. I don't say that I'm only wrong, but I know this point is crucial in our sport, for sure.
Okay, cool. And if I look at you, mainly I can follow you on YouTube, and you are posting there many videos, and you started doing your vlog in 2016. Basically, that's where the people can follow you, or is there some other channel that people can find you through?
No, I do. I do mostly YouTube. Yeah. That's where I try to be with the most effective content. Mm-hmm. I do a little bit Instagram also, but it's more for fun and diversity. But I'm more trying to do YouTube things at the moment.
Okay.
But I like to do content, not only for me, but I think I wish more younger skaters would do more content, because this is a great way to promote our sport.
Yeah.
And actually, that's the best way to promote our sport for free. We have no TV, no national TV, almost like we said before. So if we were amazing on content on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, for sure, I think that would help the sport to get more famous. One good example, if you just look at the World Games video, some have millions of views, which show that we have the sport is interesting. Yeah. When you have a 500 final medal race that have 10 million views, it's not nothing. It starts to be something. Yeah. So we have to invest in YouTube. I like a lot that Felix Reinen is having a YouTube channel. I like a lot that Patinaggio and Velocidad Portugal, they have a YouTube channel, which is doing amazing. And I like Ricardo Lino channel, which is about aggressive and the diversity of skating also. So we need more people to go on YouTube. We need people to look at the video, subscribe the channel because it's pushing them to like the video. It's, all this little process. It looks like nothing, but actually every time I watch a skating video, I put a little up because this is what will promote our sport. So if one day, if all the skaters in the world understand this, and that every time we see a skating video, we put a like, even if we don't look at it at the end, we just push the whole system. Basically, we would be the best ambassador for our sport if everybody was doing this. And we are most of the time quite lazy for this. Just for example, I know that not even 20% of my audience in YouTube subscribe my channel. So I know I see people, they just come to look the video every time, but they don't subscribe. I don't care so much. I'm not doing this about numbers. I'm just explaining that this is the best opportunity for our sport to get famous. We miss the moment when the radio arrived. Some sport, they show up like crazy because they use the radio to develop them. When the TV arrived, then another group of sport was pushed to the top because they use this media to promote themselves. And now it's still the beginning. It's only 20 years we have internet, almost something like this. So it's still the beginning of the internet things. So that's now that we have to take the wave to promote our sport. So we need to be active in it, basically. That's my dream.
That was the reason why you started your YouTube channel, or that you wanted to promote the sport, right?
Yeah, this is one of the reasons. I wanted to talk about the sport and show things. And the second is I had so many people asking me questions about the technique. So at some point I think, the best way to answer is just also to make video to give the information. I mean, I had the chance to learn from many people all around the world by traveling, by going to races. So I wanted to give back also. And so I decided one day, first video was for a training camp I did in Belgium, in Louvain. And the morning before I say, okay, now I start to do video. So I just start filming with my phone and edit and learn from this. And I say, because what I will teach in this camp could be useful for other people. So I say, I will just film this exercise and then share it. And I liked it, and I think it worked good.
So it wasn't planned earlier before the camp that you will create this vlog first?
Yeah, no, I just basically wake up and say, I was just thinking, it would benefit more people. I should film and edit, and I like to learn new things also. I don't like to just stay with my skills, and which is a good point on a bad side also. I always like to learn new things, and I didn't know anything about video, so I just said, let's do a YouTube channel. It will force me to learn something. So I started with my phone. I had to look for software to edit, and I start to study a bit, and then and then I learn about correctly how to do video. I'm not good yet, but I hope that one day I will be good enough. So, but it's only 3 years that I'm doing video, so let's see in 20 years how I will be.
The informations and know-how is there, so that's important.
Yeah, that's the most important. And you see also skater like Victor Torup. is doing great on YouTube. I love that Joey Montiel is doing also. And I wish I could have started when I was athlete. I think it's the best window to create a community behind. So it's easier to grow when you are in activity for sure, compared to a guy who's 45 years old trying to skate again. But it's everybody brings something. Joey is doing great. Victor is doing great. Felix Ryan also. And so I think it's interesting.
That's true. Well, okay, that's about the channel. And now I saw that you are working for Powerslide brand, and you are responsible for development of new products, or what is your job there?
Yeah, it was a big change in my life because I always planned to be a coach for all over. So my first job was to working for the French Federation and being coach and coach the coach and doing some different program there. But I had this opportunity when Matthias, from the boss from Powerslide, he asked me if I could join because Scott would go for another work. I say, yeah, it's a good opportunity also. I wanted to discover also more things. I loved what I was doing with the French Federation. It's an institution that I really love. It's like they learn me so much, but I think, at my age, it was a good opportunity to try something else. And it was interesting to work with guys like Felix, like Bart, like, you have this professional team here, also a professional team that I have to help. So that's one part of the job, but it's what people will see most, but it's a very small part of the job, actually. So taking care of the team is like the 2-3% that is going with the job, even if I wish it would be more, actually, but maybe COVID effect. The biggest part of the job is to develop the skate. So I'm in charge basically of all the speed skates now, the helmets, the bearings, and the wheels.
Okay.
So it's
that's unique.
Yeah, it's quite a lot, but I have very good people in the company helping me to learn about this. It's only 1 year now, and it was very hard, and it's still hard because they do so many products. I went to Powerslide because for me at the moment it's also the company that, like it's written on their slogan, they love to skate, but I feel like it's my family also. They will do skate for everybody, fitness skate, but they will also do urban skate and the best urban skate possible for this segment. They will do speed skate and they will also do the best for this, and they will do hockey skate. So they can do the like rollerblade, they can have the best skate for everybody, but they are very good in every segment also, like very close to the top competition level, not only in racing. And this I like this. They do quads and they do inline. So they just love skating in general, and so that's why I feel good there also.
Okay.
But a lot of work, and but I'm also learning again a part of the sport that I didn't know so much before.
And does it mean that you quit your job at French Federation then, or?
Yeah. I stopped it. There is a way I can go back if I want, if I don't stop for too long. But it's for now I just stop this part, like put a break on the federation part and go full speed with Powerslide. And I hope also that when I get used to it a little more, I can maybe work with some other federation at the European Championship or World Championship, get some opportunities to help some other countries a little bit, because I basically dedicate a lot of my life to the French Federation, but I like to also share a little bit more at some part of my life.
That's quite interesting, and I'm curious where we can see you next.
Maybe. So we'll see what happens.
Well, with some kind of answer to my next question, what is your goal for the future? Maybe what is your goal in speed skating for now, if you are doing for such a big brand, or for the future of inline speed skating as a sport?
Yeah, the main goal there, I always have this main goal, is just to make people love to skate. just this is what I like. I mean, my personal. If I have somebody who's just go skate and I say, oh, I understand this when I skate, and I learn these little technical things, and it make me skate better. That make me happy. You know, just these small things. When I have this kind of comment on my YouTube, or when just some people put something about this, that make my day easily. Nothing can happen. I feel good, and I feel good anyway. But when I have this, I feel, wow, it's because it's like sharing or helping people to love the sport. And if we want a lot of skater, we have to make people skate better. If you progress, you will skate 20 years. If you don't progress, you try 1 year, 2 years, and then you find it so hard that you stop. But it's so the trick is to help people enough so they understand this easy gliding things. Yeah. It looks magic. When you see a skater who do it good, it looks super easy. Yeah. And but when you see somebody doing it wrong, it looks super hard and painful. So yeah, I just want that people, when they get this cool feeling, it looks easy, it's gliding, then you know they will skate for 20 years.
That's exactly what I'm trying to do here in Czech Republic, and hoping to do it.
So this is this is basically my goal life into the sport. And then if we can promote it by this social media and system, then it would be a super cool thing. So here it's by the institution, federation, by the big brands, so all by the community in general. It's a work from everybody together to do it now.
Okay. And well, I'm coming to end of my questions, but one is to our country, because in January last year you've been teaching Czech coaches here. How did you like Czech Republic?
Yeah, actually I was very surprised. I didn't expect this organization, but it was very good. I think your federation and the people behind it, they handled it very good. I love the interest of the coach, and it was how to describe this. I can see there is a sport culture in your country. For example, compared to France, for the same level of coaching, basically I had in this formation, in this training weekend, I could see the people in front of me more were coach that were into the mind of going to progress. So that was super positive. I like the reaction. I like. It was also, I could feel like there was a lot of new ideas coming, and it looked quite exciting. So it created a cool atmosphere that I like. And we did a lot of indoor also. And for me, indoor, you had a great place to skate actually. And indoor is a super good tool to have fun on skate, because it's the main goal, and to go fast. So
that's true. Unfortunately, this place is not used so often, only for racing and such events, but it's a very good one. That's true. Okay, and would you be interested maybe if the coronavirus is gone, then to come back to Czech Republic and having some camp here?
Actually, I start to have quite a list of countries asking for training camps and things like this, and I hope I can travel again to do this. What I tried in the past was to go in 3 countries per year. So even when I was for the French Federation, I was taking my holidays, and I was trying to experiment 3 different countries to give a little help for this. So I went, for example, in Egypt also. It was super amazing, and I hope I can go back when the COVID situation is fixed. And so I want to travel more to give more coaching things, and I'm also preparing some online coach series. But it's long-term works, I guess. I need some help, so I'm trying to have people around me to help me this. Because I cannot do this, not enough time. I'm also running a lot of projects. So I'm doing a video games about racing on skate. I wrote 3 books. I'm doing a movie about the world champion in France about skating. So I have like many topics, plus of course the big task of my work. But I like the process in long term, and I like to get help from people, and so I start to organize the system so all the things go forward. So it just takes time, but Hopefully. I hope the video games to be ready in April or May, actually.
Really? Well, I've seen your some initial tries.
Yeah, I put some little tests on my Instagram. Sometimes I put some things. Last year when I start working on this, I put some little tests from things I was learning, and then when I learned enough and I see where was my limit, and when I see how the system of a video game little more is working, then I contact people to help me on this. And then I could select better people with the knowledge I learned from trying by myself. So yeah, now I'm working and having meeting with. Actually, I'm working with a guy from Belgium that is helping me in this video game. So let's hope. Let's say May it should be out. Yeah, cool. I hope.
Looking forward.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's all for my questions. Maybe one last point for all skaters around the globe who are now closed at home because of the pandemic. What would you advise to them, or what would you tell them?
Yeah, and probably many people think of this already, but for me, for people who are training and that want to become world champion, I have the feeling it's the best opportunity ever. Because if it's a skater who is not winning yet, this is a moment of the last year many people slow down.
Yeah.
So that will be about the one who slow down less or keep going, and those guys or girls, they will have more opportunity to reach their dreams. So we will see the one who give up and the one who just don't give up. So I think it's a situation of opportunity that will tell us a lot about the mentality and the personality of some athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I would try to take it like, if I was in this situation, I know it would be hard to get the motivation.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a long-term vision, a long-term goal, probably you will be even better after.
You can take advantage of this.
Yeah. So, for example, one of the point that I always mention is I never trained to be world champion in 2001 or in 2002 or in 2003 or in 2005. I trained to become world champion, and I don't know when it's gonna happen.
You just do the work.
I just do the work till it's happening and still it's repeating. Mm-hmm. So I didn't, when I start training, when I start training seriously, I was 14 or 15 years old. And then with this goal of reaching the top, but I didn't know when I would be there, but I didn't care. I just did it till it happened enough. Let's say, not enough actually, but till it happened. And I didn't care. It would have not changed my life if I won in 2000 or in 2001. If I had this goal, it's a career, it's a goal in my career, so I go for it. And if there was a COVID or something, it's just on the road, but it doesn't change the final goal.
That's true.
So I just don't focus. World champion 2019 or 2020 or 2021. If you have this goal, the people who really have this goal, they will forget about the years. They will just reach it. That's it. So it's good opportunity. Some good athletes, they will slow down. Some good athletes, they will even stop, unfortunately. So it's a bit sad for the end of the career. But the one who will keep going, probably they will have super opportunity for the next World Championship. Let's hope this year anyway. Yeah.
I think that's the great message for the end of our interview, because that's what the skater should take out of this.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And I can tell you, I spoke regularly with Felix Reinen, for example, and he's this kind of guy who, of course, he has up and down also, but I can feel it. He has a bigger goals that is there and that will not stop him to work. So that's a big difference with 99% of the other skater who would change. But the difference with the big champions, they act like this temper. they find new goals on the road, and they enjoy also the process, and so.
And they focus on long-term goals.
Yeah. And they can win also smaller race. I mean, last year, Felix he went to race in Poland with Jason in Mazurski or something like this, and he don't care if it's Berlin or this one. He just enjoy all of them, and this is cool. I mean, of course, he prefer to win Berlin, but if you make a good result in this race in Poland, it's super amazing, and it's still one line on your palmarès. I don't know how you say this in English, in your results list. It's still one more line to put. So Jason won this one, Felix was second, but there is no small race, and if you have opportunity, you have to take it.
Every victory counts.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, Pascal.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It was really nice to speak to you, and I'm very happy that you could find this time for us in Czech Republic, and I hope that we can meet each other in person once the COVID is gone.
Yeah, for sure. Drink some coffee and maybe skate or talk about some skater again. Thank you for organizing this. I love it. I love that you can create situation where we can share experience, and this is what our sport needs. So thank you for that.
Ještě jednou díky moc vám, posluchačům, za poslech. Pokud vás podcast bavil, dejte mu like, odklikněte si odběr a také ho pošlete svým kamarádům. Tím nám pomůžete dostat ho mezi víc lidí a pomůžete naší snaze dostat Česko a Slovensko do bruslí.